What's up guys, Taylor with TK Disc Golf, and I'm excited to show you the differences between the new Streamline and MVP Glow 2.0 plastic and comparing it to other glow types on the market, to other brands. Now, the Glow 2.0 versus 1.0, I don't think those are the official names. I'm not sure if they're going to stick with calling it Eclipse or if they're going to give it a new name. No one really knows. That's just the terminology that Brad and Chad with MVP have been using the past couple months when showing off this new prototype blend. I've got two of them here with me today. I've got the Trace. This is brand new. I've only thrown it one time. Not one time. I've thrown it one round, so it's not really beat up, but this Pilot here is what I used for the comparison in this video. I've had this one since like February or March, whenever they dropped those on the MVP Pro Shop website is when I picked that up, and I've thrown multiple rounds with it. It's got probably like 8 out of 10 wear-wise, so it's comparing it to a couple other used glow discs as well, so it's not like I'm comparing a brand new disc to something that's well seasoned and may have lost its glow ability, if that makes any sense. So I'm comparing apples to apples as best as I can. The other brands that we have today are the Kastaplast 2020 Glow, so it's their most current blend. It's a Berg, similar condition, 8 out of 10. I've also got a Zone from Discraft. That one actually glued pretty well for quite a while. I've got the 1.0 Crave with a piece of the UFO Glow tape on it. A lot of people love that stuff. If you've got a disc that isn't glow in the dark but you want to bring it to a glow round, just slap some UFO tape on it, and it works really, really well for quite a while, actually. I mean, you can light up that tape and it'll be visible for a solid 20-30 minutes, no problem. And then the last one was an Innova Shrike, I think is what they call that one. I think that's pronouncing it right. I've never thrown it, I just had it sitting around. So getting into that, I want to show first the pictures versus the video, and then I made a little graph too to show. The thing is the cell phone pictures, my iPhone SE takes really good low light pictures, so it like allows more light in and kind of like combines multiple images together to take better pictures in the dark. So at like the 45-minute mark on the picture thing I'm about to show up on the screen, you're still able to see quite a few of the discs. But versus my camera recording it with that, after about the 30-minute mark, things start to get really faded because it just doesn't pick up the light as well. I mean, but when I walked into the dark room and my eyes adjust, I could clearly see a couple of different discs, particular even at the 45-minute mark, and then especially after about an hour, there was two in particular that stood out the most, but I'll obviously show you right now. So the first thing first is the picture. The 5-minute mark, the Streamline Berg shining very, very bright. You got the Zone here on the top right. It's still very visible. The Crave is the bottom left with that piece of glow tape. That one is obviously the weakest of the 5, and then the Innova Shrike is the bottom right. Moving on to 15 minutes, the Streamline and the Kastaplast are still glowing nice and bright. The others are slowly starting to die off. 30-minute mark, like I said, is when the Crave and the Innova kind of fall off. Like in person, you could still see this, see them glowing in person, but on the camera is when it wouldn't want to pick those up. You can still see the glow tape very well. The Zone is still pretty visible, but the Streamline and the Kastaplast are by far the champions at the 30-minute mark as well. 45 minutes, this is where things start to get pretty interesting. The Streamline is visibly brighter than the Kastaplast. Even at the 30-minute mark, you can start to tell a difference, but 45 minutes is where it gets pretty obvious on the pictures. 60 minutes, you can't even hardly see the Discraft Zone anymore. And then 90 minutes, it's just the Streamline and the Kastaplast, with Streamline clearly being visibly brighter than Kastaplast's at the 90-minute mark. Obviously, both of these discs in person, you would be able to find them in the woods even if you were searching for your disc after an hour and a half. Hopefully after an hour and a half, you could actually find your disc. But if it's comparing apples to apples as far as visual brightness, I've got to give it to Streamline. Theirs is much brighter in person, and obviously the camera and the pictures don't do it justice. I actually made a graph here to try to show you what how their brightness tapers off over time. First one's first, the dark blue line is the Streamline Glow, and that one is clearly the brightest. I was using the pictures and memory, mainly the picture, just trying to give them like a visual, like 10 being the brightest, 1 being very minimal, and then 0 obviously can't even see it. So after 30 minutes, The original Glow 1.0 Crave can't even see it. After 45 minutes, Innova is completely gone. And this is talking about the picture, not the video. The video I'll show you later. The time lapse is super cool, but it's hard to pick up the disc after 30 minutes with my camera. Next, we've got the Discraft. After about an hour is when I would say that one was completely invisible to the picture. In person, you might be able to find it, but it's still very, very faint compared to the Streamline and the Kastaplast. And then finally, he gets out to that 90-minute, 120-minute mark. The Streamline and the Kastaplast are still visible, but they've definitely tapered off over time, but they're still plenty visible if you have lost your disc that long. But now I'm going to play a little bit of the time lapse for you. I think it's really, really cool to see how the time lapse worked. And this was also the same for the pictures, is I gave each disc a 10-second charge, which I probably should have mentioned this earlier for the picture, but each disc got a 10-second charge before I went on to the next one. And then at the very end, right before the minute mark, I gave all the other discs a little bit extra charge except for the Streamline. I did not ever touch that one up right before the minute starts. And then at the minute mark, lights out, time lapse starts, and it runs for about, I think, 3 minutes, and it's a 30-minute time lapse condensed down to about 3 minutes. So yeah, let's watch it. Alrighty guys, that concludes our comparison video of the new Glow 2.0 from MVP and Streamline. I hope you enjoyed. I mean, it's pretty clear. Streamline, MVP, Axiom, they are coming out with some pretty incredible plastic as of recently, and their new Glow formula is top notch, and I would put it at the absolute best glow plastic out on the market currently. If this is the blend that they come out with for their production run, it'll absolutely smash everything else on the market. So hey, if you can get your hands on one of these, I highly recommend it. They're not only good at flyers, but the glow lasts incredibly long, and you really do not have to worry about losing your discs on a glow round anymore. So anyway, thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you can keep up on all of our videos.